very, very upset with, or at least he acted like he was very upset with the statement from the alliance, and he took to Twitter to express his anger. And this is what he tweeted: "We value our allies. We value our shared security, and we always appreciate an open conversation. Ukraine will be represented at the NATO summit in Vilnius because it is about respect. But Ukraine also deserves respect. Now, on the way to Vilnius, we received signals that certain wording is being discussed without Ukraine. And I would like to emphasize that this wording is about the invitation to become NATO member, not about Ukraine's membership. It's unprecedented and absurd when time frame is not set, neither for the invitation nor for Ukraine's membership, while at the same time, vague wording about conditions is added even for inviting Ukraine. It seems there is no readiness neither to invite Ukraine to NATO nor to make it a member of the alliance. This means that a window of opportunity is being left to bargain Ukraine's membership in NATO in negotiations with Russia. And for Russia, this means motivation to continue its terror. Uncertainty is weakness, and I will openly discuss this at the summit." He was upset. He was very upset. And this tweet that he put out, where he demanded respect, it actually ended up upsetting the NATO member states. So they were upset with Zelensky demanding respect. That's the effect of all of this. Actually, the Washington Post, they put out an article saying that NATO member states are annoyed with Zelensky's tweets where he demands respect from NATO. This is what the Washington Post wrote. "NATO says it will invite Ukraine to join when conditions are met. Zelensky calls lack of timeline absurd." And then the Washington Post, as well as the Guardian and the New York Times, they all talked about how NATO member states, they thought that Zelensky's tweet and his words were very ungrateful, given all the amounts of money and weapons they have sent to Ukraine. And, you know, I've been saying for a while now that if there's one thing that Zelensky does not have, it's charm. Do not send this guy out to charm people. When people interact with Zelensky, they actually end up despising him. He's not a charming guy. He doesn't understand diplomacy. He's not a diplomat. He's not very likable. And so they send him around to meet with world leaders around the world, or maybe he just doesn't want to be in Ukraine. So he's pushing the collective West to send him on trips outside of Ukraine, and he meets with world leaders, and he ends up pissing them off. And so he travels to Vilnius, and he comes out with these statements about how he demands respect, and it annoys the NATO member states. That's what happens when you send Zelensky out on a road trip, on a charm offensive. He demands respect. It reminds me